Hello students, how are you? Today I am going to discuss about chapter 2nd in class 12. The name of the chapter is Sexual Reproduction in Flowering Plants. So today's topic is flower. I am going to discuss about flower, types of flower, parts of flower and structure of flower. So flowers are morphological and embryological markers and site for sexual reproduction. So morphological means the form and structure. Embryological means that the part of pre-fertilization. So after pre-fertilization, then fertilization occur, then post-fertilization occur, then embryo form. So marvels means it's a wonderful part of the plant and it is the site for sexual reproduction. So if we discuss about the parts of flower, so flower is categorized into various parts. The lowermost portion of the flower is known as thalamus. Thalamus it holds the ovary, and the green portion of the flower which cover the flower during the bud condition is known as sepal, and the colorful part of the flower which is attract the insects and pollen agents, that is known as petal. Petal and sepal, it is non-reproductive part of flower, and reproductive part of flower is the stamen. Stamen it is divided into two parts. The proximal end which is attached to the thalamus is known as filament, and the bilobe structure, mostly the anther is bilobe, and bilobe structure is known as anther. Anther which contain pollen grains during the time of gametogenesis. Next part is the pistil. Pistil is also known as carpel. So carpel is divided into three parts: style, stigma and ovary. So now students, pistil is also known as gynecium. Gynecium is known as female reproductive part. And stamen is the male reproductive part. So here is the longitudinal section of flower. It is in the short it is known as LS of flower. In the LS of flower we will see all these parts. The lower portion is known as thalamus. It is the thalamus. Thalamus hold the ovary. So next is the sepal. Sepal is the green portion. During the time of bud, it hold the flower, cover the flower. Next is the petal. Petal is the colored part of the flower is known as petal. In the China rose you see the colored red colored part is known as petal. In the center of the flower, so there is a long cylinder like structure. It is known as pistil. And pistil having pistil or carpel, it is also known as carpel. And pistil is divided into three parts. First is the style. Style is the long stack-like structure. It is known as style. And at the upper side, so there is a stigma. And lower portion of the pistil is known as ovary. Ovary contain ovules. Ovary contain ovules. After fertilization, ovules change into seed. So it is the part of the flower, longitudinal section of flower. One time more I am going to discuss about the parts of flower again. So the lower part is known as thalamus. Next is the sepal and the colored part of the flower is known as petal, and the male part is known as stamen, and stamen is divided into two parts, filament and anther. Anther mostly they are bilobed. If we look the structure of anther, so anther, it is anther. Anther is bilobed and it is filament. So collectively it is known as stamen or endometrium. And pistil is divided into three parts: style, stigma, ovary, and it is also known as gynoecium. So students, now I am going to discuss about the next part, means male reproductive parts of flower, and male reproductive part is also known as stamen. Stamen having two parts, already I discussed. First is the filament and second one is the anther. Filament is long cylinder star tube-like structure attached to the proximal end of thalamus, and anther is bilobed. Bi means two. It's bilobed structure and each lobe having two theca. Each lobe having two theca, and two theca means it is also known as dithecus. Dithecus means two theca. Theca is the part. So now come to the transverse section of anther. What do you mean by transverse section? Suppose if we are having any stem or part of plant, if we are cutting in this way, so it is known as transverse section. In the transverse section, we see that anther is four-sided structure, and it is composed of four microsporangia. When we cut the transverse section of anther, so we get the four microsporangia. Four microsporangia and two microsporangia in each lobe. So it is the first and the second. So after cutting that anther, so we are getting four-sided structure: 1, 2, 3, 4, and it is the one lobe and it is the second lobe, and each lobe having two theca. And this part is known as microsporangia. Microsporangia develop into pollen sacs, and when the anther become end, so they are known as microsporangia, and when it develop, microsporangia, when it become mature, then it develop into pollen sac. Sac means part where the pollen grains are generated. So when we cut the transverse section, so in the transverse section, anther having four layers. So if we see this structure, so it is composed of four layers, and first layer is known as epidermis, second is the endothecium, and third is the middle layer, and fourth one is the tapetum. Epidermis, endothecium and middle layer, they are protective layer, and they also help in the dehiscence of pollen grains and release of pollen grains. And tapetum is the innermost layer, unilayer, and it provides the nourishment to the developing pollen grains. Now see the structure again. So it is a bilobed anther, bilobed structure of anther, and each lobe having two theca, and it contain, and when the microsporangia develop, it is known as pollen sac, and pollen sac they contain pollen grains, and when pollen grains mature, then the wall of the pollen sac it crack, burst, and the pollen grains come out. And pollen grains, when pollen grains they go to the stigma, dusted on the stigma, so then enter inside the ovary near style, through style and fuse the ovary. Next, structure of anther, diagrammatically presentation of anther. As you know, the first layer is known as epidermis. And epidermis is a single layer. So this part I am going to discuss here. It is the structure of TS of anther. Epidermis is a single layer of flat cells. Second layer is the endothecium. Endothecium is also a protective layer, and it also helps in the dehiscence of pollen grains from a pollen sac. Next is the middle layer. Middle layer is composed of loose parenchyma cells. They are 3 to 4 layers. 3 to 4 layers. Middle layer. Inside, in the innermost layer, it is the conical in shape, and it is known as tapetum. Tapetum is a layer which provides nourishment to the developing pollen grains. It is the wall of pollen sac, and wall of pollen sac, it is composed of archispiral cells. Archispiral cells. Archispiral cells inside, so there is a group of compactly arranged homogeneous cells, and you know that group of cell is known as tissue. So group of compactly arranged cell inside the pollen sac, it is known as sporogenous tissues. So now, students, it is the outermost layer. Outermost layer is known as epidermis, and epidermis is a single layer of flat cells. Second is the endothecium. Endothecium, it is also single layer cell, and having chylose thickening, means it is thickened by chylose. Next is the middle layer. Middle layer, it is composed of 3 to 4 layers, and the innermost layer is known as tapetum. Tapetum, function of tapetum is provide nourishment to developing pollen grains. So now see the structure. So it is the bilobe structure. In the bilobe structure, we discuss about the outer structure and parts of the anther. So after cutting the transverse section of anther, so we get 4 layers. The outermost layer is the epidermis. Epidermis is a single layer. It is composed of flat cells. Second one is the endothecium. Endothecium is a single layer cells, and it having chylose thickening. So it is thickened by chylose. Chylose is a carbohydrate. And the third layer is the middle layer. Middle layer, it is composed of 3 to 4 layers. And the innermost layer is known as tapetum. And tapetum, it provides nourishment to developing pollen grain. And the wall of the pollen sac, it is composed of archispiral cells. Inside pollen sac, group of compactly arranged tissues are there. Homogeneous tissues are there. They are known as sporogenous tissues. Sporogenous tissues, they are composed of homogeneous cells. And these sporogenous tissues, when they divided by mitosis, then they develop into pollen grain mother cell. Pollen grain mother cell, they are also known as, in short, they are known as PMC, pollen grain mother cells. Pollen grain mother cells under meiosis produce, they develop into 4 tetrad microspores. So now students, see the next part is the microsporogenesis. Now students, it's now microsporogenesis. Microsporogenesis is a formation of microspore from a pollen mother cell through meiosis. It's called microsporogenesis. Microsporogenesis means that it is also known as gametogenesis. Gametogenesis in the endometrium. So microspores from a pollen mother cell. Microspore, they are also known as pollen grain, and pollen mother cells, they are present inside the pollen sac. So pollen mother cells, the ploidy of the pollen mother cell, sporogenous cell is 2L, and it develop into PMC under mitosis. Under mitosis, it develop into pollen mother cell, and the ploidy of the pollen mother cell is also 2L. And then pollen mother cell, again through the meiosis, it produce tetrad microspore. Tetrad microspore. Now these are 4 microspore, and 4 microspore, they are attached together. So in the starting I told you, so that middle layer it produce an enzyme, that is kinase, and kinase enzyme will break the bonding between the microspore tetrad. So callose is a carbohydrate through which they are attached, and the enzyme which break is known as kinase. Kinase is an enzyme which break the bonding between 4 microspore, and each microspore is known as pollen grain. develop it through the mitosis, develop into pollen grain mother cell, and pollen grain mother cell, one pollen grain mother cell produce tetrad microspore. Tetrad microspore means 4 pollen grains. So it is the overall process how the microspores originate inside pollen sac. Okay students, if you have any doubt related to this topic, you can ask question in your class WhatsApp group. Thank you.